Okay. Welcome. I'm glad to be back to the Kibanda Pundits after missing out a week. So it's exciting to be back with Ismail Chionga here on the Kibanda Pundits. Ismail, how are you doing and how's your week?
Week not bad, apart from today where I feel a little bit of headache. But glad to see you back on set. Given that we've been in the US, maybe I'm now in the US by proximity, just standing again. A near person that has been up there. Maybe I'm also now in the US.
This is how you lie to people. Let's talk about serious people instead. Dennis Onyango and Emmanuel Okwi, who have found themselves nominated in the CAF Awards. We have seen there's a category that has been brought back. That category which was like for players based in Africa. They have renamed it though, but it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, it looks a little different. It did exist even before when we did have the CAF player based in Africa. We always used to have the inter-club whereby players from the CAF Confederation Cup and those from the CAF Champions League were always chosen to see who has done better over the others. So the category is back with a lot of names on it. I've seen Emmanuel Okwi, one of our own Dennis Onyango, Medi Kagere, the guy that plays his trade with Simba, born in Uganda but plays for Rwanda. A couple of names, Faljan Sas, the guy that plays for Zamalek, Anis Badri, former at Esperance. A lot of guys are on the list. Good to see that CAF wants to appreciate the players that play their trade on the continent. It's a little surprising that Emmanuel Okwi makes the list. However, after realizing that he was part of the Simba side last season, when they did play in the group stages, along with Medi Kagere, it does explain why they are part of the...
Do you think the AFCON also contributed?
Yeah, of course, with the Emma Okwi, because with Kagere we could say it's entirely the CAF Champions League. But then Emmanuel Okwi did not do so well in the CAF Champions League with the Simba. But right now, after a successful Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt, where he did score 2 goals, and he was among the top scorers for so long until they did break up from the 2-goal margin. Maybe it could have played a very, very big part. But of course, it's not easy for either him, Okwi, or Kagere to win it, depending on the fact that Simba did not go as far as possible. The same applies to Uganda, and so did Mamelodi Sundowns, which Dennis Onyango features for, because we could see the likes of Samuel Kom, Faujan Sas, and Anis Badri had their teams
as the favorites.
Had their teams.
Is that list going to be whittled down to like 3 or 5 or something?
Of course, because these are just preliminary nominees for all the awards that for all the categories that were revealed yesterday by CAF. So I don't expect them to be in the top 3. However, with Dennis Onyango, once beaten, twice shy. Dennis is into the big one that has over 40 players.
And has name recognition.
Yes, has name recognition as well. And then also the fact that he's part of the goalkeepers from which the African Best 11 for the 2019 season will be chosen. Maybe. But also, given the fact that Sundowns did not go as far as possible, the same does apply to Uganda Cranes as well.
Who votes?
Of course, there is a panel of journalists alongside the CAF technical personnel.
So the votes have already been made.
For now. But of course, by the time.
I mean for the winner.
I understand. So
those votes have been cast.
Yeah, because from those, they did count, say, who fits into the top 40. They did that, but of course they know.
They know who has won.
Maybe Onyango got more votes, Okwi got this and this. And remember, these awards will be held in January. That's on the 7th. So there is not much time between.
So it's all about Hollywood releasing slowly, but the results are already in
but
the
of
system.
course we don't know the results. We don't know the results. We don't know whether it's Onyango, whether it's Anis Badri, whether it's Okwi, whether it's Medi Kagere. For now, we have to leave it at that and then wait for the final shortlist, because these are preliminary nominees,
Yeah.
and then we may be from there. We shall know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think one of the really good things is to see Dennis Onyango be like a consistent, make us consistent appearances on that list in terms of CAF awards. I think that kind of inspires the other players in the country to always see that there is a Ugandan when it comes to excellence in the CAF awards. So that is something that is going to be interesting to see how it moves. And now that we even have a second name, I think going forward there are more players who will be having higher ambitions to get recognition.
Yeah, previously we did have Yunus Centam part of that inter-club when he played for AS Vita and then a certain club in Algeria, I forgot the name. But then previously also did have Okwi. But what's special with Onyango is that he's in 2-3 categories. One, the inter-club player of the year, and then the general one, the African player of the year, and that has the likes of Sadio Mane, the likes of Salah and everyone. And also he features in part of those goalkeepers from which the 11 will be chosen. Of course, the big boys like Andre Onana, who plays for Ajax, and then Richard Ofori, Malmsberg. And they have a match together against Onyango. He plays for Malmsberg, and then Onyango Sundowns, they'll be up.
Ofori, the Ghanaian.
Yeah, the Ghanaian.
Okay.
A lot of goalkeepers within there. And then talking East Africa, there is Wanyama in the best 11 category.
Oh, okay.
But then Mbwana Samata, the Tanzanian, in the CAF Player of the Year. Did I see him in the strikers as well? And then also David Ouma, the Kenya Harambee Starlets coach, their female team, as well as the Kenya Harambee Starlets team, being part of those national teams that will vie for the top Africa team of the season, women's category. So East Africa well represented with Uganda, Tanzania, and then Rwanda and Kenya as well, having representatives there. Maybe we could bag one of those, because previously Dennis Onyango did win the African Player of the Year Best in Africa. Before that, it was Mbwana Ali Samata from Tanzania, and then we did have Michael Olunga close as well. It's kind of surprising that Michael Olunga does not feature because of the good season that he's had in Japan, including scoring 80 goals in a single match over the weekend.
1 day 7.
Yeah, they did finish top, so they could be promoted to the J1 league now. And then Farouk Mia, not anywhere, not even in the Young Player of the Year award as well.
Well, no, does this still qualify? Young Player of the Year?
I've forgotten the age, but it should be qualifying, because I've seen somebody that qualifies who I think is Mia's age.
Okay.
Yes.
There are things happening in East Africa, so it's good to see. You know, you mentioned people like Kagere, Samata, Olunga. You know, there is talent coming up in East Africa, which also now coincides with the return of some kind of activity going on with the Sekafa. And now we are going to have the challenge, senior men's challenge cup. It's hosted in Uganda, right?
Yeah, the last time it was hosted, that was 2012. Uganda did win.
So it's making a return after about 7 years.
Yeah, it's making a return after 7 years, but between then and now, not so many tournaments have been played because of sometimes lack of a host, sometimes lack of finances. I remember we had one in Ethiopia in 2015, which Uganda also won. We had one in 2013 in Kenya, which we...
I think Kenya won that.
Kenya won that one. That was the first international tournament that Kawowo did cover for people out there.
Was it?
Yes, that was 2013.
Did you go? Were you sent?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's good.
I was in Nairobi, then went to Mombasa as well. Then we had one in Kenya previously, which also Kenya won, because last year we didn't have. So it's returning to Uganda without one of the main countries that has always taken part. That's Rwanda.
Rwanda.
According to their Minister of Sports and Education,
I didn't believe that stuff.
They are blocked. But where do I believe that is the fact that ever since they did fail to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations this year, I remember their president, Paul Kagame, coming out and saying, why should we invest in football anymore? I remember he did say it in Kinyarwanda, and he looked like he wasn't happy about what was happening through football. And you could see, ever since then, the national team is not doing so well. Their clubs are also not doing so well. And people will politicize it by saying it's maybe because it's hosted in Uganda, but we have the Sekafa in Tanzania. And
The women's.
the women's,
They
but
didn't
they didn't participate. So maybe the president and the country as well are trying to pull away from football. They feel like they've invested a lot in football without getting back
some return.
Yeah, some returns on the investment.
But you would think they would want to take part in it, given that they are lacking in activity, having not been in AFCON, and would want to sharpen themselves for the qualifiers as well. You would think they may want to.
Of course, it would be a very good tournament for them. They did qualify for CHAN. Did they? No, they didn't. So Tanzania and Uganda, as well as Sudan, no. Sudan did not qualify for CHAN, but a few countries from here did qualify for, I mean, from East Africa. So it will be a good tournament. We are yet to know where it will be played, but according to the dates, it starts on the 7th and it ends on the 19th.
Wait, next month?
Yes.
It's next month. We don't even know where it is going to be played.
No, it's going to be played in Uganda.
But we don't know the venues.
Actually, according to Nicholas Musonye, I was trying to get him yesterday, and he said today they will release the fixtures, and then we shall know the venues, because the fixture will have, say, Uganda against Ethiopia at Rugogo or Nambole.
Ethiopia is in our group, is it?
Yeah, Ethiopia is in our group.
Who else is there?
We have Ethiopia, Burundi, Uganda.
Okay.
Who else? Because there is Kenya, Tanzania, and another group.
We have two groups or three?
Three.
Okay.
There's also DR Congo. What I don't know is whether we shall play the quarterfinals. Of course we shall, depending on the fact that we have three groups.
Okay.
But with three groups, that means 12 teams. Only 4 will be left out of the preliminary.
Okay.
So the group stages are not going to be as competitive.
You take
as
2-2, then
2-2, and then
the
1-1.
best third finish.
Yeah, two of those two best finishers.
Yeah.
There is Sudan and South Sudan in the same group, which that will be kind of a derby.
Yeah.
Nice to see the Challenge Cup return here. Every time it's been hosted in Uganda, the fans have welcomed it. I remember 2012, then 2008, and then 2009, the year that Brian Umon and Stephen Bengo did announce themselves on the big scene. We wait to see which kind of national team the Cranes will have, because do we bring on the senior team with players that have been holidays here? Because I was speaking to one player, Isaac Mreme. Their league is in
where does Mreme
winter
play?
break in Croatia.
Okay.
So the league is in a winter break. Could he be part of the team, or we are going to entirely consider the CHAN side?
Yeah, the local side.
The local team. So it remains to be seen, because playing the CHAN would be good, but then the CHAN tournament, the dates have been changed from January to April.
Okay.
Does it make a lot of sense? That's a question for the technical team and everyone out there that is concerned with the national team. But of course, looking forward to the tournament. Hopefully, the teams bring out their good sides. Because I wanted to look at the schedule for the Tanzanian league and also the Kenyan league. Will they stop because of the Sekafa, just like ours is ending next week, Tuesday, because of the Sekafa? That remains to be seen, because if they don't end, we may have a weekend Sekafa side.
Yeah.
I mean, a weekend Sekafa Challenge Cup that does not have the A of Tanzania. Of course, the A of Tanzania doesn't mean they should be having Ambana Samata here, but they should be able to bring the Simba players, to bring the Azam and the young African players.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You mentioned Bengo, which brings me to the fact that there is nothing official about Mbabazi's rumors. I read the story this morning by David Sabide about Mbabazi heading. There is nothing official there, is there?
Nothing official.
Nothing official that you've heard of. Okay. So Bengo, because you mentioned Bengo, you mentioned Omonyi, and I just wanted to delve a little bit more into those players who seem to be exciting when they were playing, and careers affected by either injury or just bad luck and stuff like that. Are you seeing a trend start to like come up or something like that? Seeing Bengo get onto the bench, do you perhaps think more players will be embracing that side of things?
Yeah, when you look at the coaching in Uganda, 99.9% of the coaches in the Uganda Premier League and also the lower leagues have been former players. Whether they were as fantastic or not as Bengo, that's another question. But Abdallah Mbiru did play for the Cranes and played for Kesa and Villa and Dire FC. He's now at Police and then the Uganda Cranes. Livingstone Mbabas played for Villa Express and KCC before he went to Asek Mimosas.
Mayanja, has he got a new position? Or that's also not confirmed?
Not yet.
Okay.
Jackson Mayanja, Mike Motebi, Sam Simba, they're all former players, which means they've always embraced that. But remember, when you're playing, it's easy to have a team with 25 players. But the 16 teams will have one coach. Those are 16 people employed. So most of the people will always leave football for good. Some will go into administration, others will go into agency, others will go into other business. Some will just disappear. A few will remain, like we see Edgar Watson in administration. We see
what's Obua?
Abua is into coaching on and off because of the badges here, because he has his badges, which FUFA says
they are not valid.
They are not valid.
His badges are from Scotland?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are very genuine, that I can put in my hand.
Okay, so where is the problem there?
He was at Maroons, because when you're here, recently I saw one honorable member of parliament sitting in exams. Yes, but he insists that his
papers are valid.
So to avoid all
he's
that,
playing the system. Like he play the whistle.
Yes, because I remember his what he said. I spent a lot of money in court cases. Right now I should go do these exams because it's cheaper.
Yes.
Maybe they should also adhere to that and then
do the course and get it done with.
Yes, because he's one of the coaches that I believe has something to add to our game, having played top professional football, just like Mbabazi. Who else? Because most of our coaches did not play so much at top level, away from the Cranes. But Mbabazi played at St. Patrick's in Ireland, one of the top teams there. And then Asek Mimosas, we saw Jackie Mayanja playing in Egypt and Tunisia, where he was even nicknamed the Miamia. The rest have played here, but of course sometimes it's not about where you played or how good you are as a player. Because
let me put you on the spot. Who do you consider top 3 coaches in the Uganda Premier League?
Top 3 coaches.
Without thinking.
Abdallah Mbiru, Mike Mutebi, and Livingstone Mbabas.
Livingstone Mbabas. Okay. Any close call? Anyone who would have made you think about getting into number 3?
No, you asked me top 3. I gave you the top 3.
You're becoming a politician. All right. So there's a battle going on in the Premier League right now. Vipers have started dropping points, and KCCA now is also properly in the fray. It's turning out to be an exciting run-in that we will have.
Yeah, that's only if KCC do not drop points in their...
They still have games in hand?
Yeah, like 3. They have 3 games in hand, starting tomorrow when they visit Barara. A side they've never beaten or lost to, which means all their games have ended in a draw.
Okay.
And they also have one against Proline. Of course, it always looks easy on paper, but Proline is one of those sides that really gave KCC a big test.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because they were in CAF, and also the fact that they did have a lot of players in the national team, so whenever they were summoned. And also they have a big one against SC Villa, a side that has not lost a game since match day 1. That will be at Lugogo. So they have 3 very important games. On paper, depending on the records, only one appears to be tougher. That's the one against Timbarana tomorrow in Kacheka, because they've never won in Kacheka, and neither have they beaten in Barara City, even when they host them at Lugogo. So on paper and statistically...
But Barara City has some kind of chaos in there going on.
Yeah, they do. But whatever they've done, because remember, even the season they did fight relegation, they never lost to KCC. So that could be their bogey side out there. And KCC is going to play at Kacheka, a pitch that's not so much in good condition. I was speaking to a few of the Barara City players, and they did tell me Tobalabura where they are coming. So,
but now you have told them.
No, of course, telling them or not telling them, the football will talk on the pitch. I believe KCC have enough in their armory, like the coach always said, to go get those points as well as beat Villa and then Proline their last game. But of course,
which other matches are coming up?
We have Proline against URA tomorrow. That's in Bombo. URA are the hosts. It's surprising that URA, the team you once had a special heart for, have won only 3 games. Actually, they
Wait, didn't I hear that our CEO left?
No, the CEO is still there, but he did exams elsewhere. So when you have a student, when you say you're Man United, and you have a game, still have a game, and then you find the TV somewhere, just to know it's joining Man City. So you never know, he may be moving to Bull. But we are into an interesting season because people are looking at Vipers and then KCCA. But Bull is in there.
Even Villa.
And then Villa. Because just imagine a win for Villa against KCCA will put them just 3 points behind Vipers after the end of the first round. Last season when KCCA won it, they did end the first round topping the table by a difference of 5 points. It's not going to happen this time around because even if they win all their games, the best they will do is topped by a single point. And we shall be so much looking into the second round because the second round of this campaign has KCCA playing away to Vipers, playing away to Villa, playing away to URA, playing away to Wachiso Giants, playing away to Ondo Baraka. How they do maneuver that because in the second round it's always tough to get points.
Why is that?
One, teams are fighting for the trophy. 2, they are fighting for top positions.
Survival.
3, they are fighting for survival.
And it's all about fights. No one's giving you, no one's donating points.
Yes, maybe the middle table teams you would say would be donating points, but they also play with no fear and no pressure.
So I have nothing to lose.
So they always do their best. So the first round ends next week, Tuesday, when KCCA entertains Proline at Lugogo. And from there, we shall know exactly how the table does look like. For now, Vipers top, but they've dropped 5 points out of the possible 6 that they would be having in their last 2 games. And this is a Vipers team that did go on rampage, especially the way the league has been played. They've been winning a lot of points. Some controversially through refereeing decisions that not saying that the referees have been biased, but of course we've had the refereeing decisions. For instance, I did watch the game against Proline, Maroons, and they did earn a penalty that was never a penalty. But then KCCA did earn a penalty against Maroons that was never a penalty as well for people who watched. And then the same KCCA did get 3 points or out of a possible defeat. No, 2, 1 against out of a possible defeat. That's when they played Bright Stars at Lugogo. We all know that goal that went through, the ball went through the net, and the referee said for him he doesn't see goal. So there have been decisions that could have changed the look of the table. But of course, it's not been one side that has gained or lost. The refereeing should be upped. That's my message to the referees out there. And all
there are refereeing issues all over the world now.
Yeah. Just like we saw yesterday, the United against Sheffield. They're all United, so if they all fail to win,
if it was Liverpool, that would have been cancelled.
If Sheffield United and Man United cannot beat each other, and then there is only one United, and that's Katwe.
Katwe United. Where the chairman is back.
Yeah, of course. He was born.
What happened there?
He was born to be back.
What was he playing like Hollywood or what's up?
Yeah, for us who have been into politics for some time, mainstream politics, I did predict that Alan Sewanyana will bounce back as the Kato chairman. Because all he wanted was to show the people, I'm the big man. Let me step aside.
And you see
and
the
then
void.
you feel the heat. So after they felt the heat, they didn't call the meeting again. Boom, he's back as chairman. But of course, unlike, I don't see the team making it to the Premiership.
Oh, wow.
And they will survive by a miracle. Because I see them getting back to the regional league.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ismail Chionga, with the updates coming from the football side. That was exciting to see the football activities that are going on. I just wanted to mention something that last week when I was in America, I was very impressed to see the state of infrastructure, and I think that's why America will become a football powerhouse in the future. So many football grounds that were being that had so many kids playing. So it's something that has been like really lacking for us. That there are points where you have the Premier League teams not having any football ground that they can be able to play football matches in. We've seen SC Villa move from one ground to the other, and so many of the clubs as well looking for alternative places, either because they have no ground or because they don't qualify according to standards, or because of issues like rain and drainage and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we will be able to see that kind of improvement happen for our sports infrastructure. Now let me talk to Ernest. I was just talking about sports infrastructure in the rugby world. What's happening there with the infrastructure?
There isn't much for the infrastructure in rugby, especially in Uganda, because we're beginning to hear stories and news coming in that some teams may not have confirmed grounds for the season that is supposed to begin on Friday, but the reports are still coming in. We cannot confirm, but we'll of course be giving you the latest news as it happens on Kawowo Sports. However, going into the coming week, it has been a cold weekend, a cold week. It has started a cold week in Kampala, but it is getting hotter and hotter in the rugby circles in Uganda as the Rugby Premiership, the 2019-2020 season, comes to a close. It is coming so close and it's supposed to start on Friday in the first ever Floodlights Rugby, 15s Rugby that is going to be played in Uganda, where Heathens is going to be hosting Cobs in a repeat of the Uganda Cup final. And this season, it's much more heated because Cobs will look to avenge their title loss last season to Heathens, where the title was snatched from them after an unfortunate, or should I say unlucky, loss against the Black Pirates. But they were able to beat Heathens last season, and having lost to them, having beaten the Cobs, the Heathens in the final, in the Uganda Cup final, they will look to repeat that in the new season in a stamping authority and look to start the new season on a great move. And I would be hoping that the Floodlights tournament is a success at Chadond on Friday night at 8 p.m. But most importantly, we are happy that the league is back. There's going to be intense action all over Kampala with games at Legends, with games in Entebbe and at Makerere, and we look forward to having a very good season. Also, as the season goes on, we are having regional tournaments with the Uganda Rugby Union reporting that the regional committees were voted in the west, in the north, and in the east, and they are looking to start their new season on a high. The central region is set, and teams in the central region, the second tier teams for the big clubs in the league, are looking set to start their Central League Championship this weekend as well. And we'll be looking forward to being with you this weekend in all possible ways on our social media and especially on all our platforms to bring to you the latest that is happening in rugby in Uganda. Thank you very much.
Quick question.
Yes.
To win the league.
The league this season, I think I would love to say that my club, Pirates, is going to win the season. But away from that, I think the top shots will not change for the season. That will have to be Cobs, Heathens, and Pirates making the biggest leaps forward. But I think with the way the teams are organized, I would give it to Cobs again.
Okay.
Yeah, because they look to be a strong side, and judging from how they perform, they are never giving up attitude in the Uganda Cup final. They look to be the team to beat this season.
Yeah.
But as Pirates, we're going to give it a shot, and I hope everything will be in our favor this season, especially starting this weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to those of you who are following us. Thank you all who are watching the Kibanda Pundits show. We appreciate that. If you haven't click the share button. Please do so now, and don't enjoy by yourself. Tell others about the show, and at the same time, please let us know if there is something that we can improve on for the show. If there is any feedback, just get in touch with us on our Facebook page. Go to the inbox and send us a message. Then our team will get that in place. Or even if you're on Twitter as well, we are there on Twitter at Kawowo Sports. You can send us a message at the same time. We are also on Instagram at Kawowo Sports as well. So if you have any updates, please send them along. Dauda, you would like us to continue with the show? Of course, we shall continue with the show, and that is why Dennis is here.
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah.
Today I'm on cloud 9. Finally, after five hard years, my team has gained promotion.
Congratulations to you, sir.
I thought of retiring if I'd lost, but I'm going to shelve my retirement for now. I need to play in the first division for some time. It's been a while. But I think the big news on the weekend is that the rain helped Wanderers gain promotion to the first division. I think I've written in the story that I wrote on Friday, we needed 2 points. 2 points meaning even if it had rained, they were good enough for Wanderers to go over Vegas, who are in second place. And that's what happened exactly. The Friday and Saturday rain could not allow the ground in Budo for a game. So therefore, SEC needed the game, but they needed to play the full game. In terms of they needed to beat Wanderers and get a bonus point, but Wanderers just needed the draw with the rain. And that's what happened. The game couldn't be possible, and Wanderers got the 2 points that were enough for them to go up to the first division. So Division 2 is totally sorted. Ceylon Lions are the champions. They won unbeaten. And then Wanderers is the second team. So Ceylon Lions and Wanderers gained promotion to the first division. So in 2020, the two will be competing up there with the teams in Division 1. Division 1 still has a lot of games to go, but at least you know for sure that Tornado will be relegated. We're just waiting on the second person who will be coming down with them. But Ceylon Lions and Wanderers gained promotion. And Aziz Damani, their third team in the league, gains promotion to the second flight, where King's College...
Damani has 3 teams.
Yes, Aziz Damani has 3 teams.
Which one else?
Has the main team, which is in Division 1, who are the champions.
Okay.
And they have another junior team in the second division. And they have a junior other team in the third division. So next year, they will actually have 2 teams in the second division and 1 in the first division. So they
are investing in local cricket.
Yeah, actually, they have 5 teams in total in local cricket. They
Wow.
have 2 ladies teams and 3 teams in the men's team.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much very exciting.
Is there anyone else doing that?
No. Challengers has 2 teams. Challengers has 2 teams.
Men and women.
And then they have 1 team in the ladies. So it is basically Damani and Challengers. And between the 2 of them, I think it's a battle of egos between the 2 owners, both rich men around Kampala. So they are trying to outspend each other. But in such battles, teams like Wanderers, we find our levels and we know who to compete against. So that's what happened in the local league. The other game was pretty much a one-sided encounter. Kachi Tigers was able to beat Partida comprehensively, so I think Partida for now may be the second team that will come down with Tornado as the way things are looking. I don't think they will find any more points anywhere else. But the other news is coming out of Uganda cricket today. It's been confirmed that 5 nations will be taking part in the first ever Africa Under-19 Girls Tournament that will be held here. It will be held in Kampala from December 14th to 22nd. Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and Botswana have confirmed participation. So it will be very interesting to see the teams that will be coming down here. And this is on the backdrop it comes on the background that ICC this year announced that there will be an Under-19 Girls World Cup. So teams are trying to prepare for that same tournament, and it's a privilege for Uganda to be hosting the first one. Maybe finally, on Friday, the final 14 to Oman was revealed by Uganda Cricket. Only one single surprise, Ham kind of misses out, who has been part of the team for quite a while. But he missed out because of injury. He got injured when they were in Zimbabwe. He was struck on the thumb by a vicious ball, and he broke one of the bones in his thumb, so he can't heal in time. So they decided to leave him out, and the youngster, surprisingly, Kenneth Wise, has one who replaced him in the team.
That's a bowler, right?
No, it's a batsman. Yeah, so it is surprising. It looks like he was going to be left out, and he has only been able to make the team because of Ham's injury. But the final 14, the usual suspects, Brad Masala is the captain. He will be assisted by Arnold Otwani, Roger Mkasa is in there, Ronak Patel, Riazat Alisha, Dinesh Nakrani, Charles Waiswa, Henry Senyondo, the 40-year-old Frank Nsubuga is there. Kenneth Waiswa, like I've mentioned, wicketkeeper batsman Fred Achela, and the exciting Arnold Otwani. Plus, there's someone who will be making his debut in an ICC tournament for the senior team, Mr. Richard Agamiri. So those are the final 14 that will be going to Oman. The two reserves, Jonathan Sebanja, he's done that for a very long time. I don't know when he will finally break into the main team. And Robinson Obuya, the reserves. The team will be departing on Friday, and then they will play their first game on December 2nd against Jersey. It could be interesting what will happen there, but we hope and pray that they do well and they come back victorious.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Dennis, for the updates. What I find interesting is that a 40-year-old has made it to the team, and Dennis, I believe, should be 10 years, 15 years younger than that. Why he's not in the team? I need to have a chat with him about getting back into the fray, unless your retirement is official and only the Wanderers retirement that is pending. All right. Thank you again, once again, all of you who are watching. Just keep it up as we continue with the updates. And now we want to talk some basketball. Frank, I watched an NBA game that I don't know whether I was to be impressed or sort of shocked. But nice sweater, by the way. This is like Kawowo boys these days are really doing well. This game, 14 seconds, I believe.
Yes. And
they were leading, trailing by five. By five.
Yes.
And then
they failed to do.
It's the same way. Yesterday I was watching My United. We were 3-2 instead of hammering someone properly. They eventually drew.
Yeah. In NBA,
were you disappointed or were you impressed?
In fact, in the NBA I was disappointed because there is no you can tell me that you can't make 2 stops in 14 seconds when you're leading. You can't give up those 2 3-pointers, and even on the inbound you turn over. It is very unacceptable actually at that level of the game. But of course in Uganda it's acceptable because Warriors have not scored or did not score in the final 2 minutes of the 2 elimination
They needed
games,
to.
which they needed to.
Yeah.
And they were knocked out of the National Basketball League, which has been
the playoffs, right?
Yes, the playoff semi-finals. And wow.
You used to have a soft spot for Warriors.
Sometime back. I did, because I went to Chamboga anyway.
Yeah.
So Warriors were knocked out by State Oilers, who literally limped through the series. Of course, you won't say Warriors also had the injury problems of their own, but I think overall they had more manpower than State Oilers. State Oilers pretty much had all guards. They were rotating 9 players in the first game. And then after that, the rotation was cut down to 7 players because the rest were literally limping through the series. But still, because they are champions, they had to go through. Warriors failed to execute on 2 occasions. In game 3 of the series, in which they failed to score in the final 2 minutes, and they had the same problem in game 4 as well. They couldn't score in the final 2 minutes, and they knocked out of the series. State Oilers are making their 7th successive finals. That is unprecedented, really. Since they came into the league, or since they started playing league basketball in Division 1, they have literally been in the finals since then. And I think the dominance of State Oilers is unmatched at this point in time. And they are going to face UCU Cannons, who are returning to the finals for the 2nd time in their history. UCU last played in the finals in 2015, and of course, it was the same opponent. State Oilers have been a constant, like I said, since I came into the league. And this time around, maybe you think, like it was in 2015, it is going to be a competitive series, really. In 2015, it went through the 7 games, and it is looking likely that the series might go a long way, as UCU has no injury concerns, apart from, I think, their shooting guard, who sometimes plays as a small forward. Isaiah Atta, who has an elbow problem. For those of you who have been watching their series with Power, that's why most of his shots have not been falling. He has an issue with his elbow, so you expect for UCU to knock that off and probably take State Oilers over the 7 games or and maybe win their first title since coming into the league nearly around 12 years ago. In the women's division, it is going to be a repeat of last year's finals. JKO Red Dolphins are going to play UCU Lady Cannons. UCU's qualifying is a little bit surprising, given they were not better than KCCA in the regular season, to be honest. But they managed to turn on the playoff mode and KCCA out. JKL is not going to have an easy series like they did last season when they swept UCU aside. And you'd think at this point in time, I think UCU have an edge over JKL Lady Dolphins, so it wouldn't be surprising if UCU Lady Cannons got a championship again. If you were to look at in terms of personnel of the two teams, Flavio Kecho, Rita Imanshimwe, and Hope Akero will probably be the go-to players for JKL Dolphins. Of course, they have a lot of experience in Flavio Kecho, has captained the national side for a long time, as well as Rita Imanshimwe, who has played for a while in the league. Of course, both of them came from UCU. They are UCU alumni. So it is former UCU pretty much versus the new UCU. And then for UCU Cannons, I think Broza Kon is like the go-to player. Of course, the intelligence of Zainal Okamel is going to be very important for the Lady Cannons. Of course, and the defense of Sarah Ageno. I think she's been a top rebounder in the league, and you'd think Hope Akelo, who is a rising star, you want to say, for JKL Dolphins, is going to be having a lot of trouble throughout the series that you'd think could also go all their way if the teams are to play really, really well to the expectations at which they are. Now, just going back a little bit to the men's finals, I feel UCU Cannons are better positioned than State Oilers, but the only edge State Oilers have over UCU Cannons is that they have won the thing 6 consecutive times and they know how to get it done.
And you think they'll go to Game 7?
I still feel this series will go up to Game 7 if UCU play to the expectations. I feel like UCU have the edge in transition because they have young athletic players. You think that will be their, you say, go-to strategy throughout the series, and because the Oilers have most of their players injured, you think it will be very difficult for them to match these young boys in terms of pace.
But you still think State Oilers will win it?
You don't want to rule out State Oilers because I mean the experience is enormous. But these teams are the top coach teams in the country. You think both coaches are going to make very many adjustments depending. And one thing that I'm almost certain State Oilers, given their lack of personnel, are going to probably stop, try to stop UCU's quick transition. Probably Power has not managed to do that, or did not manage to do that during the semi-finals, and you think probably State Oilers will try to put a stop or to slow down UCU's offense.
When does all this start?
The finals start on Wednesday, this Wednesday. The games are coming.
After tomorrow.
Yes, the day after tomorrow. Games are coming so thick, and after every 2 days, they will return. I think by mid-December, the finals will be over. That is if they stretch up to Game 7, both of them. And of course, the focus will now turn to the Africa Basketball League after that, at which State Oilers will be taking part. I think that is majorly it from basketball.
All right.
Also, maybe, just a side note, a former NBA player is now the president of the South Sudan Basketball Association. and that is not good news for other East African countries.
The region, yes.
Yes.
It attracts funding,
It attracts funding,
partners, experience.
and all the tall South
Yes.
Sudanese that have been all over the world
They will
will
be
now
spotted.
have a chance to play for their country.
Yeah.
And now the others have now to play, I think, second fiddle. South Sudan, if the organization stays, I mean, if they are really organized, and you'd expect a player who has been in the NBA to know what organization does and all that, it is going to be a little bit a strong Sudan to start with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's exciting from the basketball world. Be sure to catch the playoffs that are happening on Wednesday to see you and root for your team if there is any of them in the finals. Otherwise, thank you all for watching the Kibanda Pundits. We look forward to seeing you next Monday. Remember to share and let others know about the show. Thank you very much and stay blessed.